How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Weeb Lounge. I am Nick, and in this character spotlight, we are looking at the overloaded edition of Peco. Happens every time dinner comes around. I mean, there's really no question about it. Every time, she eats, she stuffs herself. She's overloaded. I mean, it's the perfect character for the Overload edition. A lot of people think it's Overlord. It's not Overlord. It's Overload. They overcharge themselves, do the power thing, ludicrous mode on Teslas, same kind of thing, whatever. Okay. This character has kind of a little bit of a wall of text here and everything, so let's, I gotta do that. All right, skill number 1, let's get into it. Limiter Override gives herself a heal over time effect, and as you're going to see with every single one of these issues, there's an effect that these skills do. If the boss or monster that she's fighting is 50% hit points or higher, she'll do one thing. If it's 50%, if it's lower than 50%, it does another thing, which makes her like half useful. I'll get into that. Okay, skill number 1, Limiter Override, gives herself a heal over time effect, and if it's over 50% hit points, it increases the physical attack power of all allies with a permanent buff. Also increases the physical crit chance. So the permanent buff thing is very nice because permanent buff, stack, stack, stack. See where I'm getting at? It's good. Yeah, if it's under 50% hit points, the physical attack power of all allies will be increased by a rather substantial amount. More so, actually, than the other one, but it's not a permanent effect. It can and will wear out, apparently. Skill number 2. This character is a mouthful, and I don't mean dinner. Find out of the gutter. I know where you went with that. Anyways, skill number 2, Enormous Cleave. I know where your mind went with that one, too, Edge. This is a large single target damage, attack, and physical defense debuff. If the target is 50% hit points or over, I will not stutter on these by the time I'm done, whatever. Increases her physical attack power with another permanent buff. So permanent buff, permanent buff, permanent buff, permanent buff. It starts stacking like mad. But if the target's 50% hit points or less, it will recover her TP gauge by a rather large amount. So no physical attack power, but it seems like if it's under 50% hit points, she'll start ramping up how often she does her Union Burst because of that TP gauge increase, right? All right, that might be it. EX skill increases physical attack power if you happen to have her at 5 stars, which if you do get this character, 5 stars is a pretty good idea. Will greatly increase her physical attack power. Now, the Union Burst. Oh, scroll the other way. The Overload Strike, a large single target physical attack. That's the simple part of it. If the target is 50% hit points or higher, it will increase the technique point generation of all allies. If it's under that 50%, it will increase the amount of damage the attack itself does. A fairly substantial amount too, nothing to shy away from. Okay, now both of those actually seem kind of pretty sort of good, right? Half and half or whatever. Let's go ahead and throw her into combat, and I'll explain a little bit more on why she's always stuffed. I mean, overloaded, whatever. 10-3. I need these stupid things, and I think I don't need those. Why didn't? Whatever. We're doing this one. It's fine. Oh boy. Now, I know I might be a little late with this character spotlight, but better late than never, I guess. All right. So essentially, this character is like SS plus tier on boss fights when they have 50% hit points or higher. So she's good half the time ish, depending what you're fighting. Okay, now she's like a damage character combined with a support when it's that 50% hit points or higher. So it's like getting the best of both worlds. She's buffing the crap out of everything. She's doing a pretty good amount of damage, and overall she just benefits the group like tremendously. Okay, so she's overloaded. I mean, she does what she does. But the thing is, when it's under that 50% margin, she will do her Union Burst a lot more often, like quite a lot more often. But the amount of damage that she does will start to decrease. She doesn't help her allies and support nearly as much. it's not nearly as good of a character overall. It is still an S rank, maybe even an S plus kind of in their rank in terms of damage dealing and everything, but once the enemy gets 50% or less, it's like, okay, I have other characters that can do more damage, because she basically goes from being really good support and pretty good damage to just pretty good to a little bit better than pretty good damage, depending on the hit points. Yeah, it's one of those characters. It's very situational, I guess, which kind of makes me wonder why it got like the SS tier rank in Circumstance, because overall, I would probably put her at like an S plus, S plus plus. I couldn't, if you take the overall character arc, all those skills combined and her usefulness spread out, I can't justify giving her that SS tier rank if you take all of that into account. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button. It's still Peco. We love Peco. I changed the picture up here or whatever. We got a cute Peco being all cutesy and everything. I need to just find one where she's eating cake. I mean, I Google Peco eating and it's pretty much all cake and other things that I can't put on video, but whatever. Peco, this is actually a really good character. It's a good limited character, but it's one of those that I don't know if you don't necessarily need her. You can live without this character, but I'm willing to bet there's going to be a few boss fights in the very near future here, clan battles and everything, that she's going to be part of the strategy and she's going to be a key part of it. So, you know, we have yet to see that, but overall, I don't think this character is going to be an absolute necessity. It's Peco, though. You get the Peco. You get Peco, you get Pecos, and they're overloaded Pecos. They were overloaded before. We didn't need to overload the Pecos with Pecos. I like Pecos. We'll see you in the next move. See you in the next video.